one performer with 3 names. Keith, Lowell Jensen, give a hand.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in. Sorry, I've fallen behind the last couple of weeks. We have been on the road touring a lot. On June 26th, gay marriage was legalized in all 50 states. We were in Long Beach, California, getting ready to perform. And I have to tell you that getting to perform on a night like that is awesome. What a tremendous amount of fun we had. The audiences were excited. Everybody was in a party mood because we have cool audiences. I'm sure there were other audiences that were very grumpy and in a miserable mood on that day. But yeah, not our crowds. They're wonderful. And then in the midst of all that, I got the news that my friend Laura Kimball passed away. Wasn't a surprise. She'd been fighting cancer for a long time. If you are a Doug Stanhope fan, you may know Laura as well. She was like a super fan of Doug's. She was on his podcast a few times. He'd brought her on stage a couple of times. And just an amazing person. She saw me opening for Doug and instantly became a fan of mine as well. And then became a good friend of mine. And to have a fan so enthusiastic that they're doing more for you than most managers do for you. You know, she was getting me auditions and introducing me to people and talking me up to people. Really incredible woman. I'll miss her. And so with all of those emotions, went on stage, had a chance to talk about the Supreme Court decision. The clip I have for you today is from 3 days later when we got up to Mill Valley, just north of San Francisco, where we performed at the Throckmorton Theater, one of our absolute favorite places to perform, place where we had the pleasure of getting to meet and work with Robin Williams, Dana Carvey, Bobcat Goldthwait. It seemed like every time we go there, one of our heroes would show up in the green room to hang out. And this night that I have a clip from is no exception. Mort Saul was sitting in the green room with us that night. Thanks again, as always, to everyone who watches and subscribes and all of that, but also to everyone who sponsors these videos on Patreon. That's really helping keep me motivated to keep them rolling. So with no further ado, here's the clip celebrating the legalization of gay marriage in all 50 states. Woohoo! How was your gay weekend? Yeah! Oh, I mean happy and also homosexual. I mean gay in both senses of the word this weekend. What a great weekend. Not for everyone. Not for everyone. And I don't know. The conservatives worked hard and they did their best. And I think we should be mature and we shouldn't rub their noses in it. I'm just kidding, of course. Fuck them, right? I do have a consolation prize for the conservatives, which is that gay couples don't have that many abortions. So, I love the slippery slope argument. Slippery slope, it's always either something so ridiculous that it's not even an issue. Oh, what's next? People are going to marry mosquitoes? I don't know, that doesn't seem real likely. Actually, that doesn't seem like a rational fear. Or it's something that's the next logical, you know, oh, what's next, plural marriage? Yeah, I don't care. More shit that's not going to affect me. That's great. But the slippery slope argument's been around for a long time. I'm a big fan of old rock and roll. I love watching old documentaries about the birth of rock and roll. And rock and roll was very threatening because it was black music. And white people had, by that point, in the early 50s, convinced themselves that they invented jazz. So they didn't know that they were already getting down to black music. And they were like, oh, there's black music with these jungle rhythms and it's all about sex. And they would go interview people in the South, like the gas station owner with the whites only sign in his window. I don't know why gas station owners are always racist. It's a weird thing you'll notice if you watch enough documentaries. I don't know if there's a gas station owner in here, and that's why you guys are uptight about that one. I'm sure you're fine, but I'm sure you let everyone buy your petrol. But that's the thing with racist gas station owners, and they would interview this gas station owner, and he would say, it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. You let white kids dance to that black music. Next thing you know, they're going to be dancing together. And whenever I see that, I always wish those men a really long life. I want them to live long enough to see that they were right.
My hope is that that guy stayed on this earth through a long, bitter, hate-filled life, just long enough to see his beautiful blonde granddaughter marry her black girlfriend this weekend.